this generation affected this generation. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's possible.
Okay, I'd like to call the North Zero Select Board to order, May 18th, 2026 at 5:15 PM. Adjustment to the agenda. I'd like to make a couple of here. Under number 11, treasurer there, Lisa will also give a update here with the tax sales or tax delinquencies sales. And with everybody's approval here, hopefully, I'd like to move the animal control issue down further. Kim Francis, who is the owner of the dogs there, she cannot join until 5:30 approximately. So I'd just like to move that down. Is that okay with you, Peter?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Are there any other adjustments to the agenda? Hearing approved bills for payment. Everybody's taking a look. Are there any questions?
I make a motion that we approve 61,264.77 for bills for payment.
All right, Joe makes the motion, Claire seconds, further discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. And I'll pass this around for. Okay, where is it? Where do you have it? There's the.
Oh, turn that top one over.
Yeah, it's just second.
Trick.
All right, why you trick me? All right. We all have a financial snapshot in front of us. Are there any questions on that? Hearing none, I thank you very much, Lisa, for putting that together for us. And our budget status report. Any questions? We're coming down to the end of the year. All right. On to public comment. Is there any public comment at this point in time?
Yeah, Carl, briefly, for those that don't know me, I'm Andy Alling, Chair of the Planning Commission. We've just started the process of updating the town plan. And I would like to announce that our first community meeting will be held here on Sunday, June 7th at 2 PM. We've still got a couple of meetings before it, so we're still tweaking the presentation and the agenda and everything, but want to get as much public participation as possible as we go through the process. This is really just the beginning.
Okay.
Things take place over the next year or so.
All right. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Anybody else here for public comment? Hearing none. Welcome signs. We have an email here from Kenny Bassett, our sign ambassador, who has installed our new welcome signs. Hopefully everybody has seen those. They look very, very nice, and I thank Kenny Bassett for all his efforts. Vermont Land Trust. This is a request for a letter of support for the Russo property to place that into the Vermont Land Trust. Any questions there for Robert since he's here? Okay, I have drafted there. I had Corinne draft up a letter there of approval. So if you would all like to, I'll take it. Why don't we have a motion there to accept me to sign this And I'll read this here first of all. It says, in regards to the Russo Conservation Project, dear Mr. Karnitz, the North Hero Select Board has reviewed the proposed conservation of the Robert Russo property on Route 2. We are pleased to support this project and appreciate the work of everyone involved to conserve this land. Thank you for keeping us informed, and we wish Mr. Russo all the best, sincerely. So I'll take a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to have Carl do a single signature for the board on Mr. Russo's letter.
Okay, we have a motion by Joe.
Second.
Do we have a second? Larry?
Apologize for my tardiness.
And was that a second by you, Frank?
Frank, yeah.
Frank, okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll go ahead and sign that. We'll give that back to you, Corinne.
Yes. Thank you, Rob. Thank you.
Okay. Did you want to add anything, Robert? No, do you want to add anything there? We just approved the. and
I'm
we have
just
the
here
letter.
to answer any questions you have.
Nope,
Okay.
we're all good.
They did it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. Moving on, landfill custodial care application. Corinne will give a brief synopsis of what we went through.
I heard that emphasis on brief.
Yeah,
So yeah, I don't even know that if you guys want a synopsis, I put the summary in the minutes. We have some follow-up items that I just wanted to review with you.
Yep.
So in order for us to move forward with the custodial care application that was started in 2020, we need to make sure that we remove the non-functioning groundwater well pipe. And I would recommend that we designate Public Works to coordinate, making sure that's done. We need to brush hog the landfill. And we need to determine, are we gonna outsource that? Which is what we've done in the past. And then just coordinate that happening. We need to remove trees that have slowly eaten onto the landfill cap. And I would also recommend that Public Works take on that task.
Tracy and I have talked about it. They were gonna spray paint them or mark them, tape them, whatever, the ones that have to get cut. We'll take before and after pictures.
Perfect.
And then we'll take before and after pictures there of the brush hogging.
Okay.
Okay,
We have to submit a final inspection report, and VHB, our engineers, are already working on that. They were at the site inspection, and they were able to coordinate their time being at this review with the state to also do their on the ground work for that inspection report. So we'll save a little bit of money there. And then we need to record notice of the landfill and the land records. So basically, it's a notice that there is a cap landfill under custodial care on that piece of property.
and this goes in perpetuity, so it's an annual, every year we'll have to send in an update. And correct me if I'm wrong, the state does not have to come out every single time.
No, you just jumped ahead to my next point. So we're,
Okay.
so those were the things we need to do right now by July 1st, or July 11th. That was the deadline.
Mhm.
To get those things, photos before and after, submit them to VHB. VHB is going to incorporate them in the final inspection report, send it to the state. I'm also going to send adjacent property owners notices. And that is one of the things I would appreciate your feedback on in your packet. There is the notice required by the state, which is a very non-specific notice. And whenever this goes out, there are lots of questions. And because this project has been a long and winding one and has involved a subdivision with the DRB where applicants have gotten other notices, I'm recommending we also send along a letter that kind of explains why they're getting this notice. I mean, the notice is so vague. It just says, town of North Hero is taking action. And so the letter that's in your packet, I'd also like to include with it. But it's above and beyond, so I didn't want to just do it without your input.
Has everyone taken a look at the letter?
I didn't see it in my packet.
Mhm.
It was,
I think it's page 31.
This was a big packet.
Yeah.
I have a
all the way
question
back.
in the meantime.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Just
Well,
quickly, what does VHB stand for?
I don't know.
They're a survey company.
I can Google it.
Okay,
Mm,
Thank you.
mm,
It's, I think it's one of those where it's Vonnegut and Harry and Vonnegut. and-
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's on the warrant.
I think the letter looks good.
I have no objection to the form of the letter.
Vanessa Peg and Rustland team.
It's actually not on their website. They're just VHB. Interesting.
okay, so you want me to go ahead and sign that?
Um,
Go ahead. No, you say yours
No,
first
go
before I
ahead.
make a motion.
I don't have a clean copy and I think yours is 2 separate, so. I was gonna. Do I have it so it needs
I-
signature?
Yeah, sincerely.
I mean, it's. gonna
You
go
can
to
just, you
multiple
can just
people,
stamp
so-
my name on it if you'd like. Let's do it that way.
So the, like Carl was alluding to, those are all the things that have to be taken care of now. We just counted through those. But the custodial care requirements, those would be things that we have to make sure happen annually as we move forward. Do you want to go through those now, Carl?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, so we need to decide if the remaining groundwater wells should be decommissioned. The state doesn't have any requirement whether they are or not. VHB recommends that we leave them. They cost money to decommission. There's no harm if they're there, and they say they've actually had instances where some new kind of toxin pops up and people want to do monitoring and have to put them back in order to do so. So there's no harm in leaving them.
Yeah, one has popped out due to frost. So that one there will get filled. The hole will get filled. The others all have, they're all locked shut and,
And you, on the map, you can, I don't know how well you can see on a black and white copy, but there are, well, you guys have a lot of maps. Is that all the Russo stuff? Yeah. Okay. Page number.
Page 28, I think.
Yeah,
page 28.
there's 4 dots. You can, on the color map, they're green. Those are where monitoring.
It's all right here. There's 4 of them. 4, well, one's out now.
Yeah,
So
the circled one is non-functioning.
that's non-functioning. So we have 3 others there along or near West Shore Road.
They're all capped, they're all locked. There's,
I don't think it makes sense to spend money to remove them, if leaving them there is recommended by VHB. And they could provide a future use. Yeah, so just leave them alone, that's my
Okay.
opinion.
so the next thing is to make sure that we schedule annual brush hogging of the capped landfill area. So it just needs to be done every year. I need to document it somehow,
And they said once a year.
once a year.
So
And then, I think that we should probably discuss, there has to be an annual site inspection where you make sure it's been brush hogged. You walk the perimeter, make sure the trees aren't creeping in, you look for any burrowing animals. And,
you shoot and kill.
well, there was a little bit of debate by the crew that was there that day. That was one suggestion. So it quite horrified somebody else, um, but if we delegate that responsibility now, just to make sure it happens, then we know who's responsible for it. It's,
I would put that on the public works calendar.
Certainly. Glad to.
I love it.
You've dealt with nuisance animals before. Yeah.
Still dealing with them. So,
So then the next thing, we got to just figure out some way to just document it. At the inspection, the state did say that they, although it's no longer under a monitoring plan, they have the right to come and do an inspection whenever they want. And they would want to make sure that it's mowed and there aren't trees on it, or she said one of the things they actually look for the most is to make sure motorized vehicles aren't. I guess they see a lot of damage to cap.
yeah, they see a lot of damage there with ATVs and whatever, so.
Yeah,
Is there a time frame that's set for this annual inspection?
it has to happen every year.
So
No.
probably like May 30th or something?
No, because
That is somebody's discretion.
no, so they won't be, we don't have to submit any proof that we did it unless they come for a surprise visit, which could be in 10 years, and then they're gonna wanna see that we've been doing all of our things. So I'm recommending just an annual checklist that you can just sign and we'll put in some file.
It's the best time to brush hog if we're only doing it once a year. Probably September,
Yeah.
August.
Well, they'd like to see this done by July,
Yeah, so you have.
so we'll just do it by July and
Okay.
do it the first of the so-called year. We'll just set that up and get that done every time.
And I think if you coincide the annual inspection with the brush hogging, you can just take all the evidence that you need.
How much land is that?
What's that, Robert?
How much land is brush hog?
There's approximately 6 acres.
Not all of that's brush hog though. That's what
It's
was,
6.9 acres total. There's the cap landfill, but the area that has to be done there. I mean, I'm just calling it 6 because
well. yeah,
we can
maybe
branch
four.
out here and there. It's actually the further east you go there, that doesn't have to be touched. So, it may be like a 3 acre parcel.
I don't know. Now I'm looking at the map. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I was just, my concern is mowing over animals, that's all. Like the time of year you do it. So July would be, okay.
good. If I hit any there, I'll bring them to you.
Well, I think it'd be too late then.
All right.
Okay, so we have somebody in the waiting room that I think is Kim, so I'd like to let
Okay.
her in. And then do we want to do public?
Yeah, Public Works, we can kind of zip through here too,
Okay.
actually. So why don't we, we're all done there with the custodial care.
Yep.
Okay, on the Public Works,
Well, let me-
Tracy.
Can I let Kim in first?
Yeah,
So
let
she
Kim
knows
in.
what's going on?
Sure.
And then, Hilo, can you state who you are for the record, please?
Kimberly.
Thank you very much. We have one more item on the agenda before we get to you, and we're glad you're here.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, Public Works, Tracy.
Well, I submitted 3 bids for, doing some paving, but I understand there's a little confusing as to comparing apples to apples, so I'll get the contractors here to explain the nature of the better information. I understand. I just mean you. So, I apologize for that.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, so you'll have that to us, well, let's hope by our next meeting or,
Yeah, definitely, that was next to me.
Okay.
I'd like to get this done
All right.
within the year's budget, get it out possible.
okay.
Hi, girls.
I was trying not to mute her because I don't know how people on the phone unmute themselves, but I'll do
Okay.
it. Go ahead.
All right. So we'll do that. Better Roads Inventory Grant, we have that there. Yeah, you're not to start anything where if you get This is all the new funding
Correct.
and we have to wait until we get the actual letter, I believe.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else, sir, Tracy?
Well, we did some trapping of the, Hutchins property and got a couple more beaver this year. Now that the beaver subsided with the culvert payment. I reached out to Vermont Local Roads about installation of a beaver baffle. If we can get that installed with their aid this year.
Okay.
Hopefully this beaver thing will go away.
All right. Good. I hope it does.
Cohabitate with a lot
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, Tracy?
No, at this point, just holiday weekend coming up, so make sure all the lawn is done.
Okay.
We have a burial the day after Memorial Day at
Right.
Westview.
Okay. And the grass is growing.
Yeah.
So, okay.
It's so,
On to the next there. Why don't we go back to,
well, do you want to come back to the Better Roads Inventory Grant?
well,
We have
can.
to formally accept.
Oh,
it.
we have to formally accept it.
So.
I'll make a motion that we accept the Better Roads Inventory Grant.
Harry
Second.
makes the motion, Joe seconds. Any other further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. It's a clean copy. That's been Joe's, I don't know.
Thank you.
Okay, we all set there now?
Yep.
All right, well, we go back now to animal control.
And before we jump in, can I tell Kim that if she wants to unmute herself, she needs to hit *6. I don't have the ability to unmute on this end for a participant only to mute. So when she's ready to speak, please hit *6. Okay, it's like you're back.
Okay,
Thank you, Carl.
so Peter, you have requested this meeting here. Would you like to proceed?
Yes, please. So my name is Peter Katz. I live on Bridge Road. So back story about what's going on. My wife and I are both nurses. We work at University of Vermont. Long hours. We moved out here with the intention of enjoying the peace, the quiet, the birds. We have Kim. She's a nice person. She's got a couple dogs that she has there that tend to bark excessively. And she had another dog that she was, I think, boarding there, a neighbor's, and that dog has a history of barking also. So it's just driving us crazy, essentially. We go outside and we don't want to sit on our lawn or sit on our deck, and we listen to dogs barking instead of birds. So we're just looking for some kind of solution to this. And I'm sure you're asking, why don't you go to the neighbor directly before all this? I have gotten Robert, the animal control officer, involved in it. And the reason kind of for this is, or for escalating things to this point, is just based on prior history, I guess, of dealings with Kim, specifically with regards to her proposal for kennel last year, which was she retracted it after additional information was requested. There's still a kennel up in her backyard where her dogs come out and hang out all day. There's no screening. There's nothing. Hours of operation, lighting, nothing has been addressed as far as a kennel. I know that it's for personal use primarily. However, it's still just an eyesore and it's also an ear sore. So we're just looking for some kind of remedy for this. And not just between Kim and I want it to be kind of, globally known or, amongst us, like what to expect, I guess, moving forward. If the dogs bark, and some kind of resolution. So Robert, encouraged me to come here. Just speak with you guys.
Robert, would you like to add something?
Well, I would say that a year ago, I was called in on an animal problem of Kim's dog running around a lot, and she has fixed that problem. And 2 weeks ago, I was called about this noise, incessant barking problem. And so I tried to deal with Peter and Kim on this, and they just wanted more accountability. And as far as what I could do, they didn't want to wait. And so, we've come to this point. And so I don't know what can be done.
In our ordinance there for animal control,
Yes.
I believe it states something there that excessive barking there is a continuance of 30 minutes or more. Is that correct?
Yes.
That it is.
Hello, Kim, would you like to address the board?
Of course, not a problem. I have a camera on my kennels, and nowhere on the cameras does it show any more than 5 minutes of barking. And I've gone over and over and over all my videos. So, one, my dogs do not bark more than 5 minutes at a time, and it's usually when there's a UPS truck, something new in the environment, or there's someone in the backyard. But
Okay.
again, I reviewed all my video cameras and none of them show any more than 5 minutes at a time. There
Okay,
is
so
no
the dog-
30 minutes of excessive barking. And my dogs do not bark excessively.
Okay,
And
so
I
you're,
have all the video you could possibly want to confirm this.
okay. So your dogs are being basically dogs.
They're what?
They're being dogs.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're being dogs.
I have dogs. I've always had dogs there, whatever, and I know there that if there's a disruption in the neighborhood or whatever, that they will bark.
Yes,
It's kind of
course.
expected of them.
Nature, that's what they're supposed to do.
Okay. Well, I would love to see there that, Peter, that you and Kim can come to some kind of a, resolution here. And,
If this
you
was
know.
an issue, this should have came to me and talked to me, and I could have taken care of it like neighbors normally do. I don't know why they can't address me. I don't know what the problem is. I went to their house not too long ago when there was Vermont Electric wanted to take trees down to be neighborly, to let them know that they were going to be in the driveway. I don't know why they can't do the same for me if there's an issue.
Well,
I'm not
I
hard
think
to
Kim's
deal
door,
with.
I think the door has been opened here. I would love to see that you all come to an agreement, some kind of resolution to this.
It seems like there's a very simple resolution. When she's not at home, the dogs don't go out into the pen. And
I
when they're out in
don't
the
think
pen,
so. That is not going to happen. Try again.
and then
My dogs are
when
not
the
going to
dogs
sit
outside,
in the house for 12 hours. It's not happening.
Ma'am,
I have-
ma'am, my name is,
I have cameras.
ma'am, my name is Harry Parker. I'm a member of the select board here. Our meetings are going to be conducted with a little bit of civility, please. We don't need to yell. And I don't think this is the place for us to hash out the interpersonal issues here. Okay?
That's fine, but my dogs are not going to be stuck in the house for 12 hours when there's no reason for it.
well, if that's the case, then maybe I would suggest some screening. Just some basic screening.
I do
You know, there's
screen. I do screen. I screen my cameras all the time. It gives me notifications when something is going on. That's why I know they don't bark this much.
Kim, this is Carl. I think what Peter's asking for is maybe something there where the dogs are not viewing out to the road or wherever.
They
You know,
don't.
some kind of
That's the
screening,
problem.
not,
They don't.
yeah. Okay.
They have.
Ma'am, there's also,
They have.
ma'am, there's,
May I please speak? They have
Yes,
screens
go ahead.
facing towards Bridge Road, so they don't see much that's going on. The only thing they can see is behind my house and the driveway next to my house.
Okay. All right, well, I don't know about any other board members who'd like to.
I just want
chime
to
in.
say, ma'am, that you can also buy several different types of no bark collars. Some spray scents, some shock, some
They
do
do
whatever.
not bark enough to need that. You have
Okay.
them prove to me that they're barking 30 minutes, and then I'll discuss that. But they do not bark 30 minutes at a time. Maybe 5 minutes, if that. And I can prove that to you.
Okay, well,
Lots of video also.
you're gonna wanna hold on to all that stuff there, Kim, but I'm hoping there that
I do,
you,
trust me.
that both parties here. Yeah, I'm hoping that both parties can come to some kind of resolution here. In the meantime there, Robert, yep.
You know,
go
wait a
right
minute.
ahead.
When their dog's outside and barking the whole time, I don't complain about it. 'Cause that's what
Excuse
dogs
me,
do.
Kim,
So what's
Kim,
the problem?
Kim. Okay. All right, Kim, excuse me there, Robert Arnett would like to say something.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that at Kim's house, there's a dog door. So the dogs do come out in the pen and they do go back in the house. So they're not shut in the kennel for 12 hours by themselves.
Okay, all right.
I
Okay.
think as a part of the regulations for building and code for this town, one of the specifications is screening for certain things. Like boat storage, like kennels, like things that are, would impact the view. You know, I look out and I see, I mean, I've got videos and you can see it or pictures. It's just an ugly dog kennel, big. It's like 30 feet by 30 feet. The dogs go out there and they bark all day long. So
Well-
they don't bark continuously for 30 minutes at a time.
All right.
Okay.
Well, like I said, I'm hoping there that all parties there come to some kind of resolution there and talking to each other there I would hope would help, you know. So,
By suggesting screening, something like that, and then saying that the dogs don't need the bark collars, they don't need screening, they don't. So how would you suggest that we go about doing that? Some kind of mediation that the town would provide for us, or how do we do that?
well, I mean, if there's an issue there with any zoning there, you're gonna wanna put that in front of the planning commission or whatever.
I guess that's a good place to start.
You know,
I think the zoning administrator.
zoning
probably-
administrator can help you as far as if there's any violations here or whatever.
Okay. There's plenty.
Okay. All right. Well, I thank you all very much. Thank you, Kim. All right. Thank you, Peter.
Nothing.
All right.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Robert. Okay, treasurer.
You want to do the Grand Island Sheriff contract or you?
Oh, Jesus, yeah, well, yeah, let's have some discussion on that there. Claire.
So I read through this and I still have questions. I don't think that, I am not ready to sign this today. And we have until first day of July, so we have 2 more meetings. And some of the things that came up is if you look at the bottom of page 53, a little more definition, where to me, it sounds like the contract is for $84,129.76 for 22 hours, which we okayed back in November, December sometime. So there's no changing that. But then it goes on and says this amount represents 22, blah, blah. The department shall charge the hourly rate for all necessary investigations, office work, compilation. Is that in addition to, and we don't know. I don't know. Shouldn't say we,
Working on
I
setting
don't
up a
know.
meeting, so we can discuss
Yeah,
the contract.
Okay, so we'll wait back to hear from you and Claire.
Mhm.
After you have a meeting there with Sheriff Allen.
Yep.
And then we can hopefully deal with that. Is that good for everyone?
Fine with me.
And is this gonna be him at a select board meeting or?
Hmm?
A
We're gonna
liaison?
go and
You-
have a
okay.
chat,
and
Okay.
Lisa, right? Or-
and probably Lisa.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Everybody.
Everybody.
everybody. Okay, on to Lisa here.
Okay, so the delinquent tax sale update, happy to report that of the two properties that were going up for tax sale on May 27th, one has entered a payment agreement and we have started to receive payments successfully. And the other one paid most of what, they owe in delinquent taxes. So, they both are off the sale.
Okay. Okay,
The audit fiscal year 26 audit's been scheduled for July 13th to the 15th. And the water department exceeded $1 million in, federally funded or federal funds through the grants that we received. So we're going to be required to have a single audit, which will coincide with the July 13th through 15th. They'll at least get it started then.
okay,
That's been budgeted, planned for with the water departments.
okay.
And then the other thing is, when we looked into or setting up the summer camp registration with payments online, being able to register and pay at the same time. There are two companies that offer online payment solutions that are integrated with the website, and one was Forte, CSG Forte, and the other one was Stripe. So in talking to Forte, it's taken a while to get to this point, but they have a great solution for online payments or taking payments for taxes, water, all that stuff. So you have the, Mike Tarrant has looked at the contract and it would replace what we currently have. We're not NACHA compliant right now, that we accept payments over the phone by taking their card numbers and typing it in ourselves and that kind of thing. Forte has a better rate. Right now, we're paying well, not we, but the taxpayers paying 3% in fees for every dollar that they you put on a credit card. Forte's offered us 2.5% for tax payments and utility payments, and then 2.75 for everything else, which would be dog licenses and building permits and marriage licenses and all that stuff. We can now accept American Express cards, which we haven't in the past, and a lot of people like those points and we like to use their American Express card. It will also take Venmo, PayPal, Apple Pay, Google Pay, all that stuff. We will have, we can get a terminal for the office so that somebody can just swipe their card or tap their phone or do whatever to make a payment in the office, and we won't have to take their card and type it in. They have a solution that we can set up an option on the phone system that you call in to make a payment and you wouldn't go through us. You just manually type it in from your phone. They also have a solution that we can send them a file of what the balances are for taxes and water, so that when they go online, they can look up their own balance and pay it right, which right now they have to call and get that information from us. So they offer a lot.
Is there a capacity for a taxpayer or someone paying a fee to use an ACH or,
A check, yes.
Check.
Electronic check, yes.
and there's no fee associated with that? Or is there still a fee associated with that?
I thought there was a fee. There's a $2 transaction fee.
But it's not a percentage
I
based
don't think
fee?
it's no, it's not a percentage base.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like it's gonna be a time saver and it's gonna save money for folks who are already using the system. I think it's great to roll it out. My position.
I'm in agreement.
Bruce, same.
Okay, we need Carl to sign on the dotted line.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the CSG contract for card processing.
Second.
Harry makes the motion. Harry makes the motion, Joe seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Did you
Motion
want them to do
carries.
the application as well? I
Mm,
didn't have a sticky and it has your name, so,
Yeah, I think I can sign it.
okay.
That was just the contact information that I got.
Yeah.
Does Carl have to sign this?
I think that's what we were just, I think I can sign it.
You can just wipe mine out and just sign.
Do you guys already run PCI compliance for any financial data that may be stored?
This is why we want to use a third-party processor. Yeah.
They
And
will
that's
be
why,
for PCIP.
that's why we ran.
They're gonna be doing
They are
all the,
responsible.
good. I just wanted to make sure that that was something that was under their umbrella and it wasn't gonna be kind of an unexpected, additional chore to run a PCI compliance report every year.
That's why we had Tara review it, and that's why we don't want to be taking credit cards manually. We don't want to have anything to do with the numbers.
Okay.
We don't want to know what they are.
Anything else, Lisa?
That's it.
That is it. Beautiful. Okay, correspondence, you've all taken a look there, update for the community challenge that we didn't place. And they had to do with the speed signs, correct?
Yep.
So, that we're moving along on those.
Yes, I am still working on the 1111 permit. North. NRPC is working with me to draft the necessary site plan where the radar feedback signs will be placed.
Okay.
So when it's ready, it'll come back before you because it'll need select board signature. Or I can submit it to the state. So you'll have a chance to review all that.
All right, and then we have the DRB decision. Any other questions? Hearing none,
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Harry makes a motion to adjourn, Frank seconds. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. We are adjourned at 5:57 PM.
Bye, Mary.
Bye, Mary.